Hello and welcome to another episode
of the Lume Plotters. This time internationally.
Lume
right?
Plotters.
Lume Plotters is
Extra
plural,
S.
triple. Yes. We have with us again Mahmoud, who is joining us all the way from Cairo, right? Cairo?
Yes. I haven't been here in 2 years. And out of all weekends, I'm here today in Cairo.
Once again, if you weren't there, would you have time for us?
Always. I always have time
No,
for you.
you'd be working. You're always working. So, we haven't, what? Ralph's making funny faces. What, Ralph?
Yeah,
Speak your mind.
we don't have jobs, right? Obviously.
No.
Martin and me.
I don't have a summer job, kind of. But anyway, long story short, I'm going to have to be back to work in 3 weeks here. What else? Not looking forward to
I don't
it.
think
How
I've
do you
ever
deal with
said
the
that
stress?
sentence ever.
Yeah, how do you
Well, I
deal
did
with
write
this
a book.
stress?
I have a book that has been accepted by the publisher. So there's that. So that took a pleasant 6 weeks because I rushed it.
What is the book about?
It's a book about information security. Essentially, it's like a introductory guide to like people that don't know security to stay safe on the internet. Everything from like children and social media and the traps they can fall into, all the way to things like spying and identity theft and all of this stuff. So essentially just kind of walking people through very simple examples of what companies have done, how hackers have taken data from people and things like this in a very what's her name? The watch gringa would say, in a stuck up way. Yeah, as in a
She says many things.
technological way. Yeah. So
It's very important to keep
lots
your
of
computer
colorful
secure.
language,
Yeah.
making it fun.
Especially keep it secure, as you said, from children. Very dangerous. Biggest danger.
Yeah, exactly. We have to keep the internet secure and safe from children.
Yes.
Keep the children off.
I mean, if they flood
Yes.
more
I was
TikTok
reading
videos.
I was reading on Reddit somewhere that people, who cover their cameras, someone was asking whether they're just too, what's the word? Like they're too worried, they're too suspicious that, it's too much. But someone said that he went to an IT training session and he was surprised that everyone on that session got hacked through their cameras within the lunch break. So the teachers just went in there within 15 minutes and they were accessing their cameras, all of them.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very easy.
Go
Surprisingly,
to a security conference and look what the IT pros are doing. And if they have stickers over their cameras, then maybe you should do that too.
Exactly.
Exactly. Once again, I do sit in the camp that if you're not really doing anything wrong, there's nothing to hide.
Nope.
If you don't have any money, there's nothing to be stolen.
Yeah, that might be
You
true.
want to hack into my bank?
But
Steal my $0.
if you have nothing to hide, I'll just give you this. Do you deposit a key to your house with the police and say like, go on, check my house, come in at any time you want, have a look around, just because I have nothing to hide? No, you don't do
exactly.
that. There's a thing
No,
called
of
privacy.
course
So
not.
you might trust the
Exactly.
police now, but the next government, who knows, right?
knows?
Controversial.
Once you have given
He's
up your
saying
rights,
when
you
we
never
leave
get them
the
back.
UAE, when we leave the UAE, that place when we move to,
Yeah,
then
for
we might
example.
not trust the police. But here,
Yeah.
we trust the police.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
But I still wouldn't give them my key
Yes.
to my house just to say, hey, come and just check it every time. And
Yes,
if you do this online, we think it's fine because for whatever reason it's different. It's not. You don't let people look through your windows and don't have curtains or whatever. I mean, these are things where you just say like, okay, no, I really, value my
So
privacy.
by the way, this I go into this quite a bit because this was what was called the general warrant, right? Back in the Middle Ages, a landowner / the king or whoever had these people living on his land, right? And you paid your taxes to the landowner, whatever it was. And he had a general warrant. So he was able to, whenever he wanted to, come into your house and do whatever he wants, take your food, take your belongings. And this is why when we had the American Revolution, that's where this idea came about of having privacy, because privacy was never really a thing.
Yeah,
it was the
but
Americans.
Privacy is an American invention. Yes, no one ever
But
cared about privacy.
exactly. Privacy and gun laws; those are the.
But
no,
you
actually, no,
also
gun laws.
know
Well,
that
the opposite.
back in the days, Martin, there was the jus prima noctis. I don't know if you speak Latin, but that was the law of the first night that the Lord had. And we could have sexual relations with any female subject, particularly on their wedding night. So that is also something we might not want to have back.
No. But anyway, this is, after all, a watch podcast. So we don't want the landowners taking our watches.
Or our wives.
Yes.
Yeah.
Watches.
That was the law back then. The Lord could do that. So it's not nice.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. Now on that lovely note, today's podcast episode is one of Mahmoud's creation. He came up with this many years ago. We just never had time to record it. So we're finally getting around to it. And he wanted to essentially roast our watch collections. Not him particularly, but it's kind of a joint group effort where the two people will roast the third person's watch collection, and we do this in a rotating fashion, right? So we will talk about our current watch collection, what's in it, and then the other two people will be able to make fun of it and express their honest opinions about how they truly feel instead of just, tiptoeing around and not trying to hurt each other's feelings. So once again, guys, our watches are our watches, right? They're not meant for other people. Other people might not like them. So this is a nice little forum to be honest about what we think about each other's watches. So we'll start that in a moment. But before we do, Ralph and I had a fun little adventure last night. You want to talk about that briefly before we go into the watches?
Yeah,
what happened last night?
I don't know. I mean, this got my heart rate pacing. We got up for the Hodinkee last chance sale. Apparently,
we got an email.
Got an email that this is happening, and Martin checked it out. I ignored it. Martin checked it out and said, "Like, dude, I have to check it." First, he called me and said, "Check it out."
I saw in the email. Yeah. In the email, it said announcing the last chance sale, and the first thing I saw, which now these things don't exist, but here they are. Here's photographic evidence. This is the one that I saw, and I was like, "Holy hell! That is one hell of a discount." It was the rather newly launched Braun X Hodinkee limited edition, originally for $950. It said sale $380.
Yeah.
Then the Hodinkee Oris, the one that I owned, from $3,800 down to $2,000. Tangente 38 date, $1,300. The Mido Ocean Star decompression, $600. These are insane prices.
Yes, for brand new watches. And they were basically, a lot of them were 40 to 50% discounted. The Tissot's, the Longines.
And some up to 70.
It was
$300 for a Tissot PRX.
Yeah. 380
the automatic one.
The automatic ones, 40 millimeter.
Yeah. What else
Great
was huge?
prices.
The Hamiltons, the brand new Hamilton, the one with the what is it? The compass bezel, which just came out like a few months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was on like 50% discount.
Yeah.
So
it was
we
insane.
were trying to figure out, like, should we buy something? Should we not buy something? The G-Shock, the online ceramics G-Shock was $60, which is cheaper than a basic non-Crow branded G-Shock. So finally I decided I was going to buy the Grand Seiko Hodinkee limited edition, the blue dial one. So I went to check out, and when I clicked to check out, it was $3,000, down from $5,400 to $3,000. I felt that was a good enough deal. And I went to check out, and boom, it was gone. And it was not sold. The price had just been raised, and the price went up to $4,000 and something. So within a matter of half an hour?
Yeah,
roughly,
about half an hour, I think. Yeah.
Hodinkee went back and reneged on all those prices and said, "Oh, that's too cheap." And then they upped the prices for everything, and then Ralph and I were very confused.
So it was from going to 40 to 50% back to 10%, and so we were like, what happened, right? Is everything sold? And wasn't. It was just probably a mistake. So our working theory is that they actually put the cost price in the sales price instead of the discounted price. So that's why it was 40 to 50%, because that's what we know retailers get in there. That's their profit margin, right? That's why they can give discounts every now and then.
Yeah.
So without losing money. And that's basically was probably their cost price that they have paid for these watches, or would pay for the watches when they sell them. And that's why it was such good deals. And I thought like, wow, this is amazing. A Nomos for half price nearly, that I wanted to buy actually, the Nomos and some other ones for really 40-45% discount. Lovely stuff. So I was thinking about which one to get, and then it disappeared. And then I thought, thank you, I just saved money.
Exactly.
Nomos is actually one of the brands that I really like. I've always been thinking about getting one, but I was always on the fence because of the price. It's actually the price that you pay for the quality that they offer is amazing.
Yes.
But still, you kind of think, okay, should I just keep the money on the side and then just keep saving and get something a bit nicer, or just pull the trigger? But for that price that you just mentioned, I would have just bought one for sure.
So the one that I was looking at for Nomos was the World Timer, the Blue Dial World Timer, which is, I went to Mansour Jewelers in Dubai Mall, and they were selling it, I think they said after discount, after everything, 20K. And these guys had it for like 11. And that's insane. 11K for a World Timer, a Nomos World Timer. That's really cool. So I was thinking about that as well. And then, of course, now it's back to 20K.
Yeah.
So it's not even that big of a discount.
So that was a bit of a boo-boo. But the good thing is that we have saved a lot of money, right? Because like you said, Mahmoud, it's very often that you have these little impulse buys and then they add up. And then you think, if I wouldn't have bought all of these, as Archie Luxury would call them, shitter watches, then I could have actually gotten something nice. That's always the challenge with these things, right? These little...
A grandsonnery.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Of all the years of collecting.
Probably, yeah.
All right. What about wristwatch checks? What is everyone wearing today?
I'm wearing my entire watch.
I'll go first.
Yeah, please go.
Yeah.
You're the guest
All
of
right,
honor.
Mahmoud, go.
I'm wearing my overseas Blue Dial, which I was happy with, but I'm even happier after a comparison that Ralph sent me the other day with the new reference. So I understand that apparently Vacheron has gone down a little bit with the finishing of the rotor, and they've made some adjustment to the overseas. So now it's a little bit slimmer, and the bracelet is also a bit nicer, but apparently the finishing of the rotor has gone down. Yeah.
The rotor finishing has gone a bit less delicate. They have removed the cutouts. They have slimmed down the dial a bit by 0.5 millimeter, so that the entire watch is smaller now. So the case is also changed. The bracelet tapers now. The new quick release button is easier to use. It's not anymore this thing that you need to your fingernail for. You can just press it down now. And what else? I think they changed the dial manufacturer for the Blue Dial specifically. So that's also a different one now. Most people prefer the old one. So it seems to be the more elaborate one.
Which one is yours, Ralph?
I also have the old one, the 4500. The new one is the 4520. And they didn't announce it. It just happened. And in the boutiques, they said, no, nothing changed. And then a lot of little things changed. The good thing is everything is backwards compatible. So the new straps work on the old one. And that's really nice from them, that you can use the new ones for your old watches.
In all fairness, how many times has a company, let's say Rolex, done this where they announce, or I should say don't announce, that something has changed, and they actually do change something? Look, think about the Pepsi bezel, the Hulks, or sorry, I should say
this is a new reference
Starbucks
number.
or whatever it's called.
This is also a new reference number.
Ah,
right?
there is.
Yeah. It's not 4,500. It's now 4,520. And they still have a misprint on their website. They say that this new movement, or the current movement, it's not a new movement number, has a second stop, which it doesn't. Also the new version.
You mean a hacking seconds?
Hacking seconds, yeah. Second stop.
And it doesn't have
module, as they call it. It doesn't have that. But it says on the website that it does, which is weird that somebody like Vacheron doesn't correct that after weeks.
Well, I think when it first came out as well, they removed the Geneva seal description from the case and from the movement on the website.
Okay.
And then there was a rumor that they're no longer gonna offer Geneva seal on the overseas.
Okay.
But then later, I've seen the stamp and I've seen the seal on the new one anyway. So that was a mistake. But yeah.
There you have it. Okay, Ralph, what are you wearing?
IWC Mark 20 black dial.
Yes. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good. That's a good one. Yeah. We'll talk about it during the episode, but I don't have.
This looks like a Martin watch. It looks like a Martin watch, right?
Yeah, it is.
I know.
So that's why I was saying I don't really have much negative to say about this, but we don't have to roast it, right? We could talk positives about it as well. So it could be a positive and negative roast. Okay. Excuse me. I'm wearing my latest and greatest and my third Tudor Black Bay 54, number 3. But this time on the rubber strap, which I have to say the rubber strap is fantastic. Tudor, these FKM rubber straps they make with the clasp on it, the what's it called, the quick easy link T-fit is unbelievably awesome. The amount of adjustment that you have in there is probably like 2.5 centimeters. So it's a very large chunk. So Ralph tried the same watch on, and being cut, because it's a cut to size strap, he was able to wear it and I was able to wear it on the same cut.
Yes, and
size.
we have very different wrists.
Huge...
It was pretty surprising because obviously Martin couldn't check it out and wanted to have me go there and check it if the strap is cut too short, right? If it's possible to wear.
Because 800 dirhams for a new strap.
These are the cut to size ones.
Martin,
that's always a bit of a challenge. Yeah.
Martin, I'm a bit curious. Does your wife know that you buy the same watch over and over again?
Yes, she does. Yeah.
Okay. And
but
she doesn't
once again,
comment
you
on
like
it
what
all.
you like.
I know.
She thinks it's stupid, obviously.
He likes it so much that he buys it 3 times.
No, the thing is, I'm always hopeful, right? So for instance, with the Pelagos FXD, it was just too big, but I kept wanting one. And I bought it, and it's still too big, and I sold it and I bought another. And that obviously is something that won't change. But what I didn't like about the Black Bay 54 generally was with the bracelet, it was just too plain. It didn't have anything going for it, especially when I have other watches in the same size with oyster bracelets on it, such as the Explorer or the Sub. It didn't make any sense why I would have this. It didn't offer anything different. But as soon as you put it on the rubber strap, it becomes this very nice summer beater watch. And I wore it for 2 weeks straight in Europe, in Belgrade and Budapest, and it was absolutely fantastic. And it serves the function. And I think it's a perfect one-watch vacation watch because it's waterproof. Prior to this, I was wearing usually a Grand Seiko, which wouldn't be waterproof, and then you can't swim. You can't, if it rains, you are scared. So generally this one fits all the bill. You have the timing bezel, which I do use quite frequently. I like timing things on it. So
yeah, I just posted the ankle straps, website for the Black Bay 54. So you have a few options there.
Exactly.
There is a nice Jubilee bracelet.
I looked.
Looked really
I know.
nice.
I was looking, and that's the other thing is I did not like the rivet bracelet, and so this kind of solves that issue.
Yeah, so we have the options now of like a president bracelet, which they call Lincoln bracelet. Because you can't use.
You gotta love the Lincoln. You can't use the president. Yeah, but the Lincoln. Who was
and the Jubilee is called the executive bracelet. Pah. No, but I think I love the ankle straps. They're pretty good value for money. So it's lovely. I have that on my Pelagos president bracelet.
Well, I mentioned this last time, right? So I went and the titanium one looks fantastic.
Yeah, really good.
I bought 2 Forstner bracelets recently, also like $130 each. And those, they hit so far above their price point, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So somebody was saying a Grand Seiko bracelet for my SBG 221 would be around 8,000 dirhams, which is ridiculous. And then there's no taper. The finishing is, of course, Zaratsu, but it's Still not a good looking bracelet. It reminds me of the old Speedmaster bracelets. Those huge chunky ones.
Is it Zaratsu on the bracelet as well, or is it just the case?
I don't know. It's polished. It's polished for sure. There's polished links. You think Grand Seiko and their infinite wisdom aren't going to polish the same on the bracelet as well as the case? Who knows? But anyway, they were way too expensive, and I paid $130. Got myself a 16 millimeter thick, so very thin, nice. Ralph doesn't like this. He's gonna roast it. Doesn't. But fantastic finishing beads of rice bracelet. So there you go.
Yeah, for me,
right.
I think this you have this big watch head, and then you have these tiny.
We
tiny
can
strap.
discuss this when we get to it. Spoiler alert. Leave your ammunition for later. All right.
Okay.
So I was thinking how we start first. Ralph and I are the hosts. Mahmoud is the guest, so we can. How do we do it? Should we? You two. How about this? You two do paper, scissors, rock first, and then I will play the winner. There you go. So.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go first with you. You're gonna go? All right, go.
You need to time us. So
just throw a coin, do something.
Paper, scissors,
This is
no.
too complicated. And also the listeners can't see us playing.
I will go first.
Playing this. Yes,
I will go
first.
I'm just brave enough. I'm brave enough.
So we are roasting your things. This is good because I mean it's in any case Mahmoud's last visit here in our show, because if he roasts my collection, says a single bad word, that's it.
He's not coming.
You guys will miss me. You'll miss me.
I'm joking.
All right. So we have sent pictures to each other. So I will pull up Mahmoud's collection as well.
Just as a preface as well, I'm terrible at roasting other people, so that would be absolutely horrible. I'm just too nice.
Doesn't matter.
So.
All right, walk us through what you have, or should we walk us? Should we walk through? Ralph and I will walk through what he has, and you correct us if we say anything incorrect. So from what I see here, we have two Rolexes. We have a Starbucks and a GMT Master 2, Explorer 2 with the white dial. Which, by the way, I saw available now at the AD here in Elaine, which is
really
huge.
Wow.
Huge.
Okay.
Yeah, not waitlist, nothing, just available to buy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see a Piaget Polo on a bracelet.
It's a green one. Limited
edition.
Limited edition.
Yes. Only
How many
888 pieces.
Sorry,
888 pieces. So almost like the FP Journal yearly production.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But still limited.
We'll get back to that. We have the Saxonia from Alanganzona with the moon phase and the big date. Your favorite watch, or at least the one that I feel like would be your favorite watch, was the IWC Ingenieur with the aqua dial.
Yes.
I would say my favorite watch from your collection, which is the Calatrava, which is the yellow gold with the silver dial. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yellow gold?
No, it's rose gold.
Rose gold? I can't tell from the picture.
Yeah.
What's the number on that one? Something
number,
G?
6119G.
Okay, 6119. We have a IWC Ratrapante.
This is not the ceramic version.
split.
It's steel, right? PVD coated?
It's a ceratanium.
Ceratanium. Oh, yeah.
No,
yeah.
It's actually titanium, but it has like
ceramic.
It's treated in a way that looks like ceramic, so it doesn't scratch and it doesn't shatter.
Ceramic infused titanium or something. Yeah, cool.
Okay. Royal Oak, 41 with, what is it, blue, black dial?
Gray dial.
Gray dial. Once again, you send a picture that has nothing but pixelation, and then you expect us to see
with a
things.
potato camera. I know.
All right. We have a Speedmaster on a black NATO strap. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. This is the old one, the 1861 movement?
The one that comes with a huge box.
The big box. Yeah. So, okay, this is the strap that came with it, yeah?
And then the last one is a Casio Duro, I think, right?
Yeah, it looks like no, it's a ladies AP with the diamond bezel.
No, it's a Casio Duro.
AP 1159. 1159 AP,
yes,
blue
yes.
dial, white gold?
Same.
White gold or stainless?
Stainless steel, the new one with the
Stainless.
stamp dial.
Oh,
And
this
it has
is this
the
is the steel one. I thought it
sailcloth.
was the white gold. Yeah. No, of course. Yeah, there's the dial. I mean, it's very hard to see on the potato camera, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is. And all this in one big nice box. And then off to the side, we have a satellite box.
Yeah.
With two
I mean,
things in
he
it.
had to extend his box, right? So he just attached
He
a bit
did.
of extra boxes on the side.
And that has a Vacheron Overseas blue dial, the one he's wearing currently. And another one of my favorite watches is the American, right? The
1921.
21.
You see, I can feel that there is a trend here, Martin. I think you're attracted to, or you're drawn to gold watches. I think your next watch should be a gold watch.
No. It's not that gold. I'm attracted to these simplistic designs. And I think this one, as well as the Calatrava, are the icons of simplicity, right? To make something simple look this good takes a lot of work. To make something complicated look good doesn't take as much work, right? Because you're working with less stuff. So that's my opinion. But all right, so and that's yellow gold or rose gold? I can't tell again.
It's rose gold.
Okay, both. So you have a rose gold fetish. Okay, understood.
Among other
Saxonia
things,
is also
yes.
rose gold? The Saxonia is yellow
yes.
or rose?
Rose.
I think the rose
Rose.
gold looks very, very nice from Erlang & Söhne. That's perfect. I would also
I'm
go.
colorblind.
Also, yeah.
I
But
can't
they're
tell
all
the
very
difference between
different.
rose and...
No, but I mean,
But-
look, the rose gold on the Vacheron is very warm. The one on the Saxonia, for example, sometimes in
Yeah.
specific light, it becomes a bit more, even whiter. So
Yeah.
you can really tell that's rose gold. So it's all about the blend and how they do their gold. Each gold, also mold is different for each of these brands.
the alloy, yeah, the mix of certain copper and certain other parts that are in the rose gold.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so Ralph, what do you say?
Well,
what do
I
you
mean,
think?
first of all, it's absolutely amazing. It's a stunning collection.
Yeah,
Now,
it is.
we could, of course, say things like some collectors say, well, if you don't have a XYZ in your collection, then it's not complete. But I don't say that because it doesn't. I don't believe in this.
He has a lot of stuff. He has a lot of different
He
brands
covered all his
represented, so it's
bases.
not
I
like
mean,
it's-
there's
I
there's
think I've been-
Pateks,
but I've been
there's
saying this.
APs, there's Rolexes, there's Vacherons, there's Omegas. There's basically everything in there. There's the one or the other one that, that we would say. So, for example, for me, it's the Speedmaster is like there, right? Get a Moonswatch, you have the same stuff, and then you saved a lot of money.
I can't believe you just said that.
By the way,
We are
he
roasting,
said
no?
that the
We are
watch
roasting.
he wants from my collection the most is this Moonwatch. So,
Do you work for Swatch?
yeah.
And then you have the
What else?
yeah, the Piaget is for example, I think the Polo S is a way overlooked watch because it's just, I think, a bit too round. I don't know. Something
It's
is weird.
overlooked? What do you mean it's overlooked?
It's a great watch.
What do you mean?
I
Like
think
it-
it's a fantastic
you
watch.
like
and
it
it should
or you
have,
don't like
it should be more popular than it actually is. I like it. Yeah, I like it. And I think this
So
watch as well. Wait a second. This
I have
watch
to
you can
mention-
put on a lovely rubber strap and it looks super cool. They have very good straps for this watch that look integrated.
But that's what I'm going to say. Hold on. Pause. I hate the bracelet on this watch. It's absolutely, it just doesn't look good. I've seen the Polo on the rubber strap, the OEM rubber deployant,
Mhm.
and it's fantastic. It just goes so well with it. But for some reason, this bracelet is just too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like it's trying too hard.
Yeah,
And
but
this to
it
me
is
is a
chunky.
watch
It
that
doesn't
should be on
taper.
rubber. It just, I don't know why.
Um,
Especially with that flat bezel, it needs to have something a little bit more to it. And
the
rubber
only
would
rubber
do
straps that I actually like are the ones produced by AP, but I hate the ones by Omega, for example. I just feel like they're a
The
bit
rubber
too
by
cheap.
Omega?
I've seen the ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. They are not as comfortable. They're not as, I mean, the rubber straps from AP, you put them on your wrist and it's just like, it fits. It's smooth. It's super comfortable. The Omega straps, and I had one. I had the two-tone Seamaster 300M, the diver, with a original blue rubber strap, and it was just no. It's not really that comfortable.
But they go
It tapers
straight down. It's so weird.
It tapers nice.
How does it like it attaches and then it goes straight down, which to me is very weird. And I prefer rubber straps with the buckle on it, right? You would want a proper like Rolex style buckle.
Have you tried Oyster Flex ones?
No.
Because that is also
never cut to my size, I should say.
Comfort level as well. The Tudor one, I recently wore my Tudor this year for vacation for 10 days straight, the Pelagos 39 with the rubber strap, because it does come with one. And I didn't really feel the comfort being super cool, because it comes with a pin buckle, obviously.
The pin buckle is what killed it for me when I had the Pelagos. I didn't like it.
I didn't feel it that great. So I thought, I think, maybe with the deployment clasp it's better, but I think nothing beats
It's totally different, because you have, once again,
Flex.
it's not rubber on the bottom of your wrist, right? Because you have the metal that is this long, essentially, the length of your wrist. And that airs it out a little bit. It gives it a little space. It's just very nice.
Okay, so
but anyway, Piaget makes a good strap.
Yeah. What is the story about the steel AP code 1159? Why did you get a code 1159? Do you actually really like it?
Because you couldn't get anything else.
Yeah.
Again, the assumption. But that is actually not true, because I keep wearing it. Yeah. So I always wanted to get into AP. I've already had bought from Lange, from Patek, and from Vacheron. And the only big brand that I didn't buy from was AP. And you know how the boutique here in Dubai and the Middle East, it was almost impossible to get anything from them.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Prague with my wife. She's from the Czech Republic. We go there, and I had actually liked the new APs, because I didn't really like the old version, the white gold ones, because the dial was too empty. It's just lots of empty space. But the new ones, I really wanted to try them on. And surprise, surprise, they had one walk-in, and I tried it on, and I really liked it, and I really like the dial. And I honestly think it's really underrated. There is so many details within the watch you wouldn't really appreciate up until you try it.
Mm.
And that happens with a lot of watches, actually. You keep seeing, because on the website, you only see it in 2D, and you see it from just upwards, from the top. But when you wear it, you rarely actually look at the watch from the top. You look at with an angle.
Yeah.
And once you do that, that's actually the watch that I play with it the most, because it has lots of these optical illusions with the curved glass and with how the case looks like.
Step sapphire.
They've put so much effort into this watch, and you can really tell that, yes, this is an 80,000 dirham watch. I know the community is divided over it, because they wanted something different from AP. They want something different, but then once they give them something different, now they're not unhappy. So.
Oh, of course. It's not a Royal Oak. Oh, it's too much Royal Oak. Anyhow,
exactly.
Satisfying fans is impossible. And then the date is on 4:30 originally, right? With the steel version, they put it on 3:00 again. So it's just like,
But also they had the numerals. The thing is, they got rid of the numerals, because with the numerals, it looked like a Daniel Wellington. And that was my biggest gripe.
I thought when it came out, of course, the dials were a bit boring, especially on the pictures. But once I saw it in real life and I put it on my wrist, it's as much AP as a Royal Oak, I think. It's lovely. It's really super comfortable. And I was split of which one I should get my name on. And I am on a list, supposedly, I guess, still for a Royal Oak offshore diver. But I was contemplating the code 1159, but then I didn't know. I think the sailcloth version, I like the gold version with the blue dial, with the Fume dial, the rose gold version, or is it yellow gold? I can't remember even. And I thought this is one of the most beautiful watches. The case is just incredibly made. I mean, you have, what is your mid case? Is that also steel, or is it like ceramic or something?
It's steel. It's not ceramic, but they have the hollow lugs. And there is one feature as well in the case, which honestly I don't care about at all, but how the lug is not completely attached to the case. So it's just, there is a very small.
Just on the bottom.
But honestly, I don't really care. Yes.
What do you call it? It's like a cantilever on both sides, right? So it kind of.
I know. Yes. Is it attached on the top or on the bottom? I don't know. One of them.
It's attached on the top.
On the top. Okay. Yeah. On the bottom is the tiny space. Yeah.
It's so tiny that you wouldn't even notice unless someone tells you to.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not attached. Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
No, it's cool. Yeah. It's cool. I have to say, I saw it. I tried it on when you wore it that one day to when we last recorded a long, long time ago. And I do like it. I hate to admit it. And I think one of the things that I like most about it is the sailcloth strap. I thought it was
I know.
on this strap, it just looked good.
You're a tool wash guy.
I still hate date windows.
No. It's great. And I didn't mind the 430 date window. Right? The Royal Oak has it at 430. Nobody complains. And the Royal Oak does have the date window not in
the
dial
Royal Oak
color.
has it at 3. What Royal
Only
Oak?
on the
are you
chronograph.
The Chronos, sorry. Chronos always have it at 430.
No, I'm talking. It's always on 3. Which brings me to the Royal Oak.
Not on the Chronos. It's on 430.
Gray dial Royal Oak, 41 mm. I had this watch, the predecessor to this one, in the white dial. This was before AP was a thing. This was before everything, but there's no hype whatsoever. I bought the watch for 48K. I sold it for 50. I made 2K. I felt very happy with that. I sold it to Holland at Timepiece 360. But I did not like it. Once again, my issues with the watch was it was too big for me. 100%. There's no denying that.
Was it the 41?
The movement,
or 39 at the time?
It was the 41. Because once again, even then, that's all you can find. But it was still there, right? It was available. You bought it. Boom, done.
Yeah.
If you had sold the Jumbo, I would be really upset.
I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have sold that one. But it was the color. I didn't like the color. The silver, it was too white. But then the movement is what really, I was like, I kept looking at the back. And I'm like, ugh. Like it was so tiny. It was maybe like a 20 millimeter movement in a 41 millimeter case. And they did rectify this with your version, right? Now the movement fills the case, but before it was so stupid. And I struggled, and I'm like, what on earth are people thinking? Because as soon as you take price out of the equation, this hype and this price, you look at a watch for what it is. My takeaway was it was an amazing bracelet. The bracelet was fantastic.
Yes. Yeah.
The movement was shit. And the dial, of course, the color plays a big impact on it. It was too big, ignoring that. But the white dial just did not work, right? This is a dial with that not pave, what do you want to call it? The little squares?
Tapisserie.
What is it called?
Tapisserie, mega tapisserie.
It needs to be a dark color. It does not look good as a light color. That was my conclusion there. But
yeah, you have to like it, I think, to a certain extent. I think the contrast is a bit tough sometimes to read. I think when the gray dials and white dial watches or silver dial watches with the hands, some watches are better than others, right? Some have really dark or black hands even, right? Like your Polar Dial Explorer, which is one of the best watches to read the time on, actually.
It is. That and the Speedy. The Speedy is absolutely
but yours is
fantastic
gray, so your Royal Oak is gray. So I think you have very good contrast there. It's dark gray. It's not light gray, right? It's the darker gray one.
No, it's the dark gray. Yeah.
It blends actually with the case quite well. It feels like it's a whole consolidated marble slab from start to finish. It depends on the lighting.
Yeah, I guess. But it looks very contrasty in this picture. So
the size actually is okay for my wrist.
So no, I like actually.
How big is your wrist?
18.5 centimeters.
Like mine. We figured that out last time, that we can swap watches and they fit, which is really cool. Yeah. So
that, ladies and gentlemen, is 7.25 inches, roughly, a little larger than that. So that's okay. This is a good size. So I am, I think 16.5 centimeters. So significantly smaller than you guys. So this is why a lot of these watches I'm sized out of immediately. Yeah. But that means that it could be good for you. All right, moving on. You just love that IWC, the Ingenieur. I have nothing to say about it. I mean, once again, I told you the hype would go away. The hype went away. Nobody cares about them anymore.
Yes, indeed.
But that's.
I wouldn't say that. I would say it's getting that there's still some hype, but it's coming down to retail price and below. For worn watches, you get them under retail now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I never expected I'm going to sell it. Yeah, but I never expected to sell it for like 500,000 dirhams or anything like that. I'm always going to keep it.
But are you going to keep it? Is this a lifetime watch for you?
Well, I received the first one in the Middle East, so it has an emotional connection. I don't wear it as often as I should.
Oh,
That's the problem. And that, honestly, the Royal Oak is the one that's just taking the most wrist time at the minute because it just works with everything. It works with the suit, it works with the t-shirt, it works with everything.
mm.
So, yeah.
So I have 2 questions for your or 2 things that I think I don't particularly like that much, or I ask you for explanations. So I know a lot of people like the American from Vacheron Constantin.
Yes.
In which way do you hold your hands on the steering wheel that this makes sense? Way.
I don't wear it for that purpose.
No, I know, but it's what it was made for. I always have this, I thought about this a long time because
Yes.
I was wondering about this. If you wear this watch inside on the inside of your wrist,
Inside out
and
is
you
the only
have
way it
these
makes sense.
gigantic steering wheels, like in the old race cars you had, and
Gigantic.
you hold it down on the bottom, then you can actually see the perfect time. Then it makes all
And this is
super
how they
sense.
used to drive. That's
And
how
that's
it used
how
to be,
it
right?
was, in the 20s when this watch was made.
But that's what I do right now anyway, all the time when I'm just chasing criminals down the, in Queens.
Yes, see, there you go. And of course, you need to know the time when you do this. Very important. Doing a car chase.
Yeah,
Of course.
Anyhow, so that's a watch that I think is very divisive because that's like a Marmite watch, right? You either love it or
but
you
I
hate
think
it.
that's what makes it cool. That's what makes it cool because it's unique. And doesn't Longines make something like this?
Yes, they do. They have one.
They
a
do.
similar one.
So, right. Nice
With an
Longines.
off-center.
Yes.
But you know what? I think it's,
I
it's
like-
just,
I have no
I
complaints.
just don't have that connection to this watch for whatever reason. I appreciate the craftsmanship. I saw one. I had it on my wrist. I love how it's made. I think Vacheron is in any case one of my favorite brands, but I don't have that connection to that this is a watch that I don't know. For me, it's just like the one that I can't get any kind of desire to own for at all. From your
It is
collection.
actually my favorite watch in my collection. That's I admit that I love it the most, but there is just one regret about this watch. For some reason, I want to get the smaller one.
Oh, yeah. It wears
Just
bigger.
to-
right?
I like
Because
the
of
small one.
the size, or the cushion
Yes.
case. It does wear bigger. Yours is 41 or is it 42? What is it?
It's 40, but
There's
it feels
only
like it's
two-
a 42.
There's 2 sizes.
There's
yeah.
I think
Right? There's only
There's
two.
36 and a half.
36, yeah.
36 and a half, but it wears like a 39.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I
good,
tried
yeah.
that one. It was very nice.
So the other
All right, lastly.
last one that I wonder. I mean, the Polar Explorer is a lovely watch, but and it's I think your only GMT that you have here, right?
Yes.
And then you have the
Starbucks Mark
the
II.
Starbucks. Yeah, I just never got that either because I feel like the Submariner is great. I like the Submariner as a dive watch, and this is one of the I would say the only proper tool watch that you still have in your collection is your Rolexes. They are basically like the
Speedy.
the beta watch.
The Speedy is the beater watch.
The Speedy is not a tool watch.
Yes.
I wouldldn't say that because
It
it
is
doesn't.
absolutely. It's a tool watch. It's literally that's exactly what it is, and it's still a tool watch because that
Saved
was made
lives.
for it to be a.
For who? For
Exactly.
astronauts, yeah, sure. But I don't
Yes.
think Mahmoud is going to space anytime soon, unless he roasts
Who
my
knows?
Exactly.
my collection bat, and then he goes to space. We shoot him to the
No,
moon. No, but I think this is
No, I
the
also
more
think
rugged.
the IWC is a tool watch. The IWC is
Yeah,
also
okay,
a
you
tool
can
watch.
say that. The engineer,
That's pretty
obviously,
rugged.
yes, yeah, it's supposed to be super,
No, I was talking
super
about the other
shock
one, the
resistant,
other one.
magnetic resistant, and all of this stuff.
The other one, the
big pilot.
chronograph.
Double chronograph.
It's not a big pilot. No, the
It's
one
a-
next to it, the black.
Yeah, the Rattrapante. It's
Saratanian
a
one.
pilot. No,
It's a pilot.
No,
it's not a big pilot, but it's
It's
a
not a
pilot
big
watch.
pilot. It's
It's
a
not a
regular
big pilot, but it's
it's a pilot.
You
yes,
said big
but
pilot.
it's
You said big pilot.
Big pilot, small
Big
pilot,
pilot,
a big
big crown.
pilot.
Big pilot, big crown.
minion
Onion crown.
minion pilot.
All right.
Anyhow, so
Anyway,
yeah.
yes.
So I think you have a few divers obviously there. They have the overseas and the
What do you mean a few divers? Where is there a few divers?
Submariner overseas. They have it in the
Yeah.
name basically already.
Overseas is not a dive
Of course.
watch.
What is it then?
It's not underseas. It's just overseas.
That is absolutely. It's over the sea. You're on top of the sea, undersea, oversea, over.
150 meters water resistant.
No.
What is it? What is not a diver there? Come on.
There's no dive bezel. A dive watch has to have a dive bezel.
Ah, rubbish.
That's why they make their dive
Rubbish.
version. That's what the one you want, right?
It's a dive watch.
That is not a dive watch. This is the only dive watch.
It's
in this
as much
collection
as the
is
Omega is a tool
Sun.
watch. Come on.
It is.
No, it is not.
Dive bezel.
It has
I expected more
50-meter
flag,
watches.
guys.
Now Ralph and I are arguing.
No, I'm saying
Mahmoud sitting there while
you
Ralph and I are-
have from these are wonderful watches, but you have two of these Rolexes, which I thought sell them both and get a nicer one. Get something more special from Rolex.
Disagree entirely. No,
because
I think
that is really like entry level Rolex.
that's the point. That's the point of Rolex. It should be entry level. I say get rid of the Piaget. That I don't see it adding.
That's the
But it's
one.
limited
That's the
edition
one
collection.
watch that
It's
is
limited edition.
not hype. It's cool. It's very nice
I
to
don't.
have
It's not about
personality.
hype.
Yeah.
There's so much personality. Look at the Saxonia. Look at the Calatrava. That's not a hype watch. It's an awesome watch. The 1159, no hype whatsoever. All of these are not hype watches, or not all. I'm saying a lot of them are. But the Piaget Polo, I think, is something that is free to go. There is, I mean, you have. I would, if I was you, I would replace it with the. I think what you need in your life is a Aquanaut.
I think I
Maybe-
need a
maybe a
GLC
dual
reverso.
time. Or a reverso.
I need a reverso.
Have you seen?
Yeah.
There is one currently at Timepiece 360, solid
Yes.
gold, 40K, big date, the dual sided one, and it's solid gold for 40K. So essentially, for the same price, a monoface stainless steel, they have one that is precious metal. This is a good looking one too, but I will never say no to a reverso as well. So, but I think this is where you can free up space. I think keep the Rolexes, keep the Speedy. Don't listen to Ralph.
But these are
the Piaget is just
you can
meh,
always get a
meh.
Speedy. That's not so special. That's
Well,
something
actually,
that
Ralph, we
everybody-
need to move to your collection. We need because
Okay,
I
let's
think
move.
you have a lot
All
of
right.
redundancies as well. We
Who,
must talk
me?
about your own redundancies. No, Ralph.
All right, who's next? Who's next? Ralph.
Okay.
Ralph, we go Ralph. I'll go last. Okay, moving to Ralph. So Mahmoud and I roast Ralph's collection. Do you want to read
Okay.
off what he has, Mahmoud, so we hear your beautiful voice a little bit more?
Actually, you must go ahead because my phone where I'm recording my voice is just upside down now. I don't
Yes,
want to.
yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll start with the heavy hitters. Casiotron.
Yep, that's a
So
heavy
the
hitter.
bluish dial
Backhanded
Casiotron.
swipe, but yeah.
A baby blue Tissot PRX.
Wonderful.
This is the 35mm or the big one?
That's the 40 millimeters.
The 40. Okay, the big one. Okay, we have a Breitling Super Ocean.
Yeah,
That's ladies and gentlemen, that's a dive watch.
1,500 meters.
It's proper.
If
we
I was
have
that
an
deep in the
Omega-
ocean, I'll be worried.
Yeah, I think so too.
No, I sometimes go
you're
down
not
to
coming back from
1,000,
that.
1,200 during my dives in my
Sure.
dreams.
Yes. We have an Omega Seamaster chronograph. Very weird. Vintage. We'll talk about it. Super weird.
Very weird.
Super-
It's a 176.006. It's a very common watch. There are many websites dedicated to this particular version.
It's weird as in the layout is very strange. The cross on was it the second hand or the
Mhm.
what is that hand?
It's the minute counter.
Second hand?
It's a central minute counter
No, the minute-
for
No.
it is.
For-
It's
for
my
the-
watch. I know it.
No. I'm sorry. When you say center minute counter, you should specify the center minute counter for the
Chronograph. Of course, it's not a.
Yes, you
you
didn't say
would
that.
not call it counter
said-
otherwise, right? You would call it the minute hand.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
no.
cool. Okay, fine. I give it to you. Breguet Type 20 blue dial.
Mhm.
A Tudor Pelagos 39 on the Uncle straps. Jubilee or Executive, as they might call it, titanium. We have a Blanc Pond that was kissed by Jean-Claude Biver.
Mhm.
Yes. This is a triple calendar or perpetual? Triple?
Triple calendar, yeah.
It's a triple calendar,
With moon
right? Triple
phase, yeah,
calendar
annual.
moon phase.
An annual calendar, Moonface. Sorry, annual calendar, not just triple.
Annual, okay.
Annual calendar. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Vacheron Constantin, overseas, silver dial.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Rolex Daytona ceramic black dial, the new one. What else? IWC Mark 20, which you're wearing today.
Yep.
Which you got, Daytona?
Laureato. He just got it.
What? Did you
He
mention
just got
this
a ceramic
anywhere?
Daytona.
Sorry,
Where?
Oh my god. Okay.
Sorry, what?
Did you mention
Yeah.
it anywhere on your the Daytona?
I think we did mention that in the podcast. Yeah, I sold my GMT
Last
Master
episode,
2
okay.
and my Blancpain 50 Fathoms Bathyscaphe. They're gone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my Bremont Martin Baker. Some say it's not a heavy loss.
Most would.
I like most Bremonts. But I like this actually quite a lot. But anyhow, it needed to go. So yeah, it's gone. So let me just.
Okay.
All right.
quickly do
Well, then
this.
we have a full ceramic GP Laureato, full ceramic black dial,
Yeah.
and full ceramic bracelet. And then lastly, we have a Glacute Panomatic Reserve with the big date and the little tiny clock in the upper left with the power reserve on the right-hand side and the big date on the bottom right.
Mm-hmm.
So that is Ralph's collection.
Yeah.
So what do we say? Oh, okay. He has a tray of G-Shocks, but we're not going to get into G-Shocks, but
Okay.
stick to what it's in the main watch boxes.
Well,
So,
first of all, I'm
Mahmoud,
shocked.
what do you think?
What is the Moser? Did you let it go?
Yeah, Moser gone.
Oh my god.
Moser gone.
The Moser
mean,
was
that
gone
was-
for the Daytona, right?
No.
No.
Moser was gone for the Laureato
Va-
and
The
for
Laureato,
the Mark 20. I got these two instead of the Moser. Yeah.
So
The Moser
I
also
think
had
the
a-
first thing I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just there is a huge gap somehow within your collection. So you've got the Tissot and the Casio, and then you've got a Daytona. It feels like, I don't know. Do you actually have any wrist time for the Tissot?
I do.
Yeah, he wears
I
it all the
actually wear it
time,
quite a lot.
surprisingly. Like, every time we record, he's like, I'm wearing my Tissot PRX.
Not
I'm like,
always, but sometimes I do that. Yeah. So I always also there's a couple of things that I actually don't wear that much. I mean, the Omega Seamaster from 1973. That's just very, very nice watch, but I'm not wearing it
Is his birth
too
year?
much. Sort of. It's like 3 months off from my birth year. But so
What do you mean?
think
You're 74?
I'm 72, but this is from
72, okay.
this is from March 73 or so.
okay.
It was delivered March 73, so probably was produced in October when it's my birthday. So anyhow, so that's why I thought it's great, and it's a cool watch. A lot of people
That's kind of weird.
wanted to
So
buy it
it's
from
not
me.
a birth year watch.
Sort of.
It's not a birth
It
year
was
watch.
produced during my birth year, pretty sure, because it was delivered to Burundi in Africa.
You don't know. You don't know.
But how long does it take in the 70s to produce a watch? It's not done in a week. Most
But
of
it
the
could have
parts
been
are made in
produced in
72,
71
so
as well.
that's fine.
It could have been 71.
You see, when a watch was being sold at a specific day, then it was sold at that day, but it wasn't produced at that time. It might have sat in the store for a year. Who knows? It doesn't matter really. It's
Exactly.
about that time.
So you
it's
don't
fine.
know.
Yeah.
So you don't know.
Yeah, but it
that's
definitely
kind of the issue, is
wasn't
you
made
don't know.
Yeah, until it reached Burundi in the 70s. It probably was on its way for a while. So who knows?
But it could have been longer. That's what I'm saying. It could have been older. It could have been 1970.
Yeah, and
I don't know. How often do these sell in Burundi?
I don't
very
care
often.
really that much for birth year watches anyhow.
Don't burst
because
his bubble, Martin. Just
It's just a like
Exactly.
who cares for a birth year watch? I always thought I needed to have a Submariner from 72, right? Because I thought that it's just like it's so amazing. And then I looked at these 72 models of Submariners and I thought I'm not going to wear this. I'd rather have a modern Submariner and wear something else from 72 because it's a nicer watch, right? So it's like yeah, sometimes it's a bit you have to see. Okay,
All
so
right.
so can
So
you flick
what
quickly
else
to
you have,
the
Mahmoud?
to the next picture? I just want to see
for
the
whatever
overall
reason,
collection.
Just a second, I have sent the wrong one here.
I guess I can start. I'll start messing with while Mahmoud gathers his thoughts. The Casiotron, I think it's far too overpriced for what it is. And I hate that fluted bezel on the inside. What on earth are they trying to do with that?
They
Like
actually
to me, it doesn't.
to actually try to have a watch that is a sparkly, always sharp bezel, which never wears down.
But it's inside.
Yeah, that's why it's
which would never wears down inside the glass. I don't know,
Exactly.
it's just weird. It's cute. It's cute, right? It's a cute like kind of reissue, but for $500 and whatever dollars, 2,000 dirhams, it's a little much. When you could have for the same price the Tissot PRX that's underneath it, which I think is a far better value than the Casio Tron.
okay.
Okay. The Breitling that you have, I have to say, is the epitome of Breitling. I think when you say Breitling, I don't think Navitimer. This is what my mind goes to, and I like it for that reason. I have no issues. It has that weird sideways bracelet, which I think is also cool. I like it.
Yeah.
That, as Mahmoud said, the Omega Seamaster kind of stands out. I don't understand in a collection of fairly modern watches. This one is kind of sitting out on the side as a very vintage one, kind of weird. Does nothing for me. Zero. It's interesting, I guess, but that's kind of it. Breguet Type 20, I despise Breguet. I think they, okay, I admire their heritage, their history, but I cannot stand what their watches look like. Another one by the way, just like your American, this is in this essence, the Type 20 had a bunch of other watches that looked identical to it. The Longines Big Eye being one of them. It just, to me...
Yeah, Type 20 was a military spec for the French Navy.
I actually like this Breguet, Martin. I don't know. This Breguet is quite different than all the other stuff that they do. I will have to disagree with you there. But it just, again, it feels to me that the collection somehow, it's a little bit inconsistent. I don't know, Ralph. Like there is, as I said...
What do you mean with
it's all over the
inconsistent?
place.
What is there about consistency in the collection?
Like I said, there is too many watches on the lower end side and there are some watches on the higher end side. But I remember when we first met, I think you had too many watches that were eclectic. Like you had your own like colorful dials and like, independence. And I think now with your consolidation, perhaps you lost that kind of, that direction with the collection.
No, I just bought the watches I wanted. So that's the thing.
Happenstance.
And this is
sheer happenstance.
Yeah. It's just like, see, to a certain extent, I mean, these are for opportunistic stuff. For a certain extent, if I find a good deal for on a specific watch, then I would just go for it, and also experience different watches, right? So I loved my Moser, great watch, but I was also a bit over it. So I thought, good time. Let it go, right? And this Girard-Perregaux Black Ceramic is, for example, a watch that I didn't think I would like so much, but I put it on my wrist and it was just like the first time I tried a Rolex on my wrist. It's like, wow, this is just a comfort on a different level. So slim, so comfortable. Everything is ceramic and titanium. It's super light. It's beautifully made. Yeah, it's a 90,000 dirhams watch.
I'm still on the Breguet. The Breguet. By the way,
Let's
guys,
go to the Breguet.
I maintain this Breguet. I would like it better if it was on a better strap.
Oh yeah, the
by
strap
better strap,
can be
I mean
easily
a more
changed.
fitting.
Yeah.
If I saw this on a flight strap, like one of the IWC ones, the big pilots come on with the two screws, the rivets.
For that, the case is with the coin edge and all of the stuff. When you see the coin and the very, very delicate lugs, it does not look good on it. I have a one with the rivets. It doesn't look good on this watch. It doesn't. I tried. I mean, this is just a matching strap. It matches the dial color perfectly.
It matches very well, but it's too formal.
And that's the ostrich legs. Yeah.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it's ostrich. Also, okay, Tudor. I had the same Tudor. I sold it because it was too similar to my sub. I think you could easily do the same thing if you wanted to get a sub.
Yeah, I don't think
to swap this out for a sub. It is different in the sense that it's titanium. I think that's what it's got going for it. It's more tooly than a modern Submariner. But
I think Yeah, with Tudor, I would have bought maybe 3-4 washes off of them if it wasn't for their hands. I just dislike these snowflakes hands. To me, they're so ugly. They're so chunky.
They're awesome.
Yeah,
Everything you said is incorrect.
It's like Marmite again or Vegemite. You like it, you don't like it.
I
like
absolutely
them.
love. Not only that, I have a pocket square that is it's small little print on it, and everything on it is a bunch of Tudor snowflakes.
Oh my God!
So yeah, that's how much I like Tudor snowflakes. No, I love it. My main issue is I wish my Tudor had the square blocks as well, because I think obviously the square hands goes with the square blocks. But
Yes.
it was brought to my attention by ID Guy on YouTube that there were some vintage mixed dials. So it's essentially the sub dial with the snowflake hand.
Yeah.
So historically, they had both. So that then made me sit a little bit better, because if they were just to come out swinging and say, we're going to put a snowflake dial onto a round, or a snowflake hand on a round dial, it would be weird. But
I need to ask Mahmoud another question. Why do you think that my collection is too mainstream now? I think it's just absolutely not.
Mainstream?
not
That's not
mainstream.
what I would say.
No, not mainstream. I was actually
Too boring.
The next observation would have been you don't actually go for the most iconic versions of the watch. So for example, when you look at the Daytona, I didn't go for the white one. When you went for the Vacheron, you didn't go for the blue one.
Yeah.
You didn't go for the Big Pilot or the small Big Pilot IWC. You just went for the Mark 20.
Yeah.
And the Gerard Perregaux is something different, different material.
Not the blue
Yes.
dial. Yeah.
Yes. So you've always selecting different things. But I think your collection had more color before.
That is true. I had a lot of
is true. There was
blue
more
in my collection, blue dials. I still have three blue dials, but I had even more. I had a lot of blue dials in my collection.
What color is the Breitling? The Breitling is
black.
blue?
Black.
Is black. Okay, it looks blue with the AR, I guess. But I thought that was blue. But either way, I know exactly what Mahmoud is saying, and I see everything is one step away from what you would expect.
Exactly,
Yes.
and it's one of the things, because
like permutation, like you take one rotation to the right.
Yeah, but I must say I have another collector from Germany who just bought his Vacheron Constantin in silver as well, with a silver dial. In this case, there I have the leather strap on it, but it's just so amazing. I have a blue rubber strap, a white rubber strap, the black one, of course the bracelet, and this one. It just works with everything, and you can just wear similar to your Royal Oak, which you also don't have in the version that is the most sought after one,
Typical,
or the iconic one. Is actually it's just so easy to wear to everything, and it's flying a bit under the radar. It's not looking for the attention like the blue dial, which is I love the blue dial, but it is a bit less.
But I say the same thing about your Daytona. The Daytona does the exact same thing.
Correct.
But I think both are iconic. For
The Daytona was
I don't think the white is
opportunistic.
more.
Again, I got a very, very good deal from a friend for an unworn watch. So
How much did you pay now?
I paid about 90.
Can I ask that question?
92 for it. 93.
Is this a new reference?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a brand new unworn watch for May 2024. Yes, it's still a premium.
So it's the big one, the big one.
And it's under market price. It's not too much under market price, but it's a good price. And I thought at this time, the GMT Master 2 two-tone, I thought
Was it 93 or was it 83?
93. 83 was for the 2018 version. 5 years old
yes,
without.
you paid 10K more for the new one.
Which is, by the way,
okay.
now 82. It dropped in price.
Still, I remember when they were 60. So
yeah, they're retail 63 at the moment. So
no, I remember when I walked into Timepiece 360 and he had them there for 60, and I was like, "Oh, that's so much money."
Yeah, times are
Back
weird.
in my day.
No, please
my day.
roast a bit more. Obviously, I will always defend my collection, but it's
okay. All right,
roast.
here's my thing. I like what Mahmoud said about each one being slightly off. I agree with that.
from the icons. Yes. That's true.
From the icons. But no, not even from the icons. If you were talking Breitling, you would go Navitimer. If you're talking Breguet, you would go something dressy. If you go Tissot, you'd go with the dark blue dial. If you go Omega, you'd go Speedmaster. If you'd go Tudor, you'd probably go Black Bay. If you'd go Blanc Pon, you'd go 50 Fathoms. If you go Vacheron, you'd go blue dial. If you go Daytona, you'd go white dial. IWC, you'd go Big Pilot. GP, you'd go blue dial stainless. And for the Glacute,
but you could say the same about Mahmoud's Piaget, Mahmoud's Royal Oak, and so there's a lot of these.
Mahmoud's Piaget is a limited edition, which kind of gets a pass, but even though it's not really limited.
Which you said he should sell.
I have the Speedmaster, I have the Calatrava, I have the 1921, the Overseas in blue, so still
and those are very
predictable.
Iconic.
Yeah, but this is again. That's my point. This is a bit more the hype man, right? So but just buy everything that everybody wants, but it's not my style.
Yes,
my style
but there's
is
a
being
reason
a bit.
Everybody wants it.
No, not necessarily. That's why the brands make these watches, because they're there for a reason.
Okay,
there's absolutely a reason.
But once again, I have to say, when we go to my collection, this is one thing that I always look at. I don't want to look at hype. I want to look at historical significance. So the historical version of this thing.
Yeah,
if this originally only came in a silver dial and now it comes in blue, I don't care that it comes in blue. I still want the original color, right? The original one. The one that is the most original. So you are the opposite end of that spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
You want a unique, different version of everything. Aside from the Mark 20, which I think, the Mark 20, I think is very...
Yeah. Also, I must say, there's certain things where I say sometimes it's just like the Mark 20, for example, in black was actually a good price, right? Do I like the blue dial maybe a bit more? Probably, because in any case, I like blue dials. But
you would. The black is the correct one to have, so you switch it for the blue.
Yeah, see, that's my thing. But I like the blue dial. I like even the green dial the Mark 20. But the black dial is so versatile. I had so many different straps on it. I love the quick exchange system there as well. It's just super nice, right? So.
But it looks blue. It's so funny
that's the
how
AR
once
coating.
Again the AR coating, it just looks it looks blue. So half the time I think it's blue.
In certain angles, it does look like that. Yeah.
I have so from this collection, what I have zero issues with is the IWC, and
I'll say the Vacheron as well. To be honest, I like the Vacheron.
No, I think so. I think the standout from this collection is the IWC, which is once again one of the cheapest watches here. But that's the one I connect with.
Most. Okay.
To me, the standout.
I would say if you told me take one of these watches, but you also have to wear it. The Daytona I like the Daytona. Don't get me wrong, but I would still probably say if which one would go in my collection, it would be the IWC. If it didn't have a date. Which I've been
for
waiting
you,
for
yes,
them to
Martin.
make
I know.
Jesus Christ.
Again, there is
why do they have to put a date on everything?
There is a small big pilot. It doesn't have a date.
Yes, that's true.
I know. It's 43. It's got a 56 mm lug to lug. It's this freaking gargantuan
wasn't it the smaller one?
It's very wearable.
I tried it. It was to the edges of my wrist. I couldn't pull it off. No way. Oh, I tried because I really, really wanted to like it. The black dial on that is perfect. Not to mention, they just had one in the TP auctions for $15K. It didn't sell.
Really?
And it was a 2021, so it was fairly new. And
the retail is 30,000, 33,000.
Yeah, it is. So for that price, I was like, this is fantastic. But I just knew it was too big for me. But it ticks the no date box. And but knowing if I couldn't pull off my FXD, there's a 0% chance I'm going to pull off the Big Pilot as much as I want to.
Okay, we need to move on. Not because I don't like your criticism. I like it, but
we're running out of time.
We need to get to Martin.
It's okay. Well, my collection is very small.
I take it to heart. Of course, I take it to heart. I think maybe I lost a bit of eclecticism with my collection, but I actually went before I bought the Daytona. I was so happy with my collection. I thought that's it now. I don't have.
We just said that in the podcast.
Yeah, I thought this is it. I said it in the podcast. I am so happy and content. I had the Blancpain 50 Fathoms Bathyscaphe and the what was it I sold? Yeah, the GMT Master 2, and I thought that's it. That's great. It's wonderful. But then the Daytona came, and I had to get rid of these two nicer watches in order to get that. because now I have a Daytona. Will I keep it forever? I don't know, but I really am happy with it.
You got to try it.
Yeah,
And that's the big thing,
and
right? Is you got
I
one.
like to experience watches for a while or for a few years, and maybe I'll get rid of it eventually. But for now, I really am very much in love with it. Same with the GP, and I'm very happy. I'm happier with it than with the Moser for whatever reason at the moment.
The Moser was weird. I liked it, but it was weird. It was a weird
So
watch
is Ralph.
to begin
He's
with.
also weird.
Yes, I am weird.
So, you know,
It
it
is
fits his
I
character.
am unique.
Yeah.
It does.
Yes.
And maybe that's the issue. Ralph, I think the IWC is too normal for you.
Yeah, I will
Everything
find
else here is
a
weird.
chicken leg strap or a strap for it or something that makes it
Something,
weird.
yeah.
No worries.
And
I'm
I don't
on
know
it.
if you guys saw this, by the way. Hodinky was posting some videos from God knows, or some Instagram reels, stories, whatever they called. And there was two guys wearing Daytonas,
Yeah,
both of them on NATO straps.
Yeah.
And they looked awesome. So Ralph, I think you should put a NATO strap somewhere in here. On the Daytona, maybe.
yeah, maybe a
Agreed.
a NATO strap
single
on the
pass
Daytona.
or something, just- Could you imagine the slap in the face when somebody would see that? Why would you put, and that's the beauty of it, is
See,
you want to
I already
get that little bit of,
checked for rubber straps for the Daytona. Unfortunately, nobody produces them yet because that's the new reference, right?
yeah, it's too new. But it's
so
20 millimeter lugs or
I don't
still
know,
or change?
Actually, I didn't measure that. I have to check.
Either way, check it. I would say try it on NATO, and I think you might be surprised, and I think it would be cool.
Hmm.
You know, and then the IWC put it on something. The Daytona put it on NATO, and both would be fantastic. Although I like the strap or the bracelet on the IWC, so
Yeah,
no real complaints.
I wish it would taper a bit more, but in general, it's super lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Martin.
Cool.
Ralph.
Moving
Yeah,
on.
done.
You want to put
Martin.
mine up? You have mine in the picture.
I don't have it here. I have to just.
Can you open up through WhatsApp,
No, not on mine.
or I email you?
No, that's
I
okay.
email
I'll
you?
just email myself. No worries. I'll quickly do that. Let's go.
There's nothing to roast in mine. Everything's perfect.
Yeah,
All right,
of course,
moving on.
Martin. It's not at all boring.
If I have to
No.
say one thing about Martin's collection is that it's so
very
consistent.
concise.
It's very
Yes, thank you.
consistent. It's like
Yeah.
having
That's
to
what
go
Exactly.
and,
It shows.
order vanilla ice cream every single day for 20
Correct.
years.
It's the,
Each
it's the
one
Wiener
is the
Schnitzel.
vanilla ice cream equivalent of that brand, and that's the goal.
That's the goal.
Perfect. I that's exactly what you should. And I'm glad that this comes across because, as I said, I don't want anything that's kind of out there, because when I'm spending money on something, I want it to be
Boring.
versatile, boring. Yes. You know, call me Captain Boring. I don't care. We have the Tudor off on the side, the one that I'm wearing. That's the,
Mhm.
I abide by the Archie Luxury 8 in the box, 1 on the wrist policy. So as you can see, I have 8 in the box and then 1 on a watch tray. So I take that to heart as well.
Okay.
That's a good looking collection. Jesus.
Yeah.
Christ, that's
So
good.
from my perspective,
I like it.
Mahmoud, which ones would you immediately, if that would be your box, somebody gifts you
Grand
this
Seiko.
box. Yes, I would get rid of the one on the on the bottom right. It's
Yes,
just like
definitely.
immediate go.
The bottom right, you don't like the 300, the SBGW231?
Nah, it's
That's blasphemous. It's a 37 millimeter hand wound.
you replace it with
dress watch. How can you-
replace it with a Citizen and nobody would notice.
But it's Grand
I don't like
Seiko.
Grand
It's-
Seiko.
it's-
I know.
I don't like Grand Seiko at
Yeah.
all as a brand.
I'm a
It just
huge
feels
fan.
like
I'm a big fan.
yeah, but all their designs feel like they have roots in the 80s, and it's my least favorite decade. I love the 70s. I love the 60s.
Mahmoud
I hate the
Mahmoud
80s.
doesn't like leg warmers and
Let me put it this way. Both of these
aerobics.
were from the 2000s.
Yes.
One came out in 2000. The other one came in 99, I believe. Both of these were their earliest designs when Grand Seiko came back from the dead. So these were the two new designs. First two kind of mechanical watches that they released. Before that, they were only doing quartz. And they've had these two designs unchanged for now 25 years. So we have to kind of keep that in the back of our heads as well. That these were their two most simple and iconic watches, and they've kept them in the lineup for 25 years. So there must be a reason why.
Well, Seiko's,
Yes.
I know
Yes.
about the finishing techniques. They're quite nice. But I mean, the architecture of their movements is just, there's something odd about it. You feel like the components are a little bit too big.
I mean,
or
I
there's
say
just
this. I
something
say that
wrong.
as somebody who had.
It's a Mitsubishi. It's a Toyota or a Mitsubishi
Yes,
for that
yes.
price. Yeah,
I had
which is
I
absolutely
had
fine.
I had 5 Grand Seikos in my collection, and now I have 0.
Listen to Ralph.
I'm just saying. I'm just
I have
saying.
no issues with my Grand
There's a
Seiko.
lesson. There's a
I
lesson
had a
here.
few.
No. My issue was I'll tell you how I ended up with the Grand Seikos before I got one. I had the Datejust, the Sub, the Speedy, and I said I need something that is, because I couldn't wear if I went to Dubai Watch Week or I went to some watch event and I wore any 3 of these, everybody would be like, okay, so what? They're so typical. But the Grand Seikos somehow stand out a
So
little bit.
I think,
And I think
if you should have gone for some of the more either limited or special dials and special dial structures and colors, because these are just the this is these the Daytona not the Daytona, the Datejust that you have there and the Grand Seikos, they're all the same. They just look the same.
They're all white and black.
Everything is different. Everything's a different shade of gray.
Yes,
or
exactly.
silver or
Of white
whatever.
and
It's just
black.
So we have black, silver, off-white. So the last 2 are sort of eggshell. The SBGM221, the GMT one is lacquered, and then the SBGW231, the one that's 300, is
what I'm
matte.
saying is
So
from
there
the
is a
from the
difference.
distance here, it looks very similar. It's just
Are you looking at your watches from a distance? Are you saying from 5 feet away, 10 feet
No,
away?
I mean,
Wow,
this
my watch
distance
looks
is
good on
like,
my arm that's
what is it,
16
like
feet
half a
long.
meter distance. It just looks very similar. So I think, and I think there's a bit of this obviously when somebody says he doesn't like date windows, and then there are 2, one is with a very big
Yes.
date window, a magnified one.
Magnified,
I feel also that the Sub and the Explorer is a bit, too time only watches, very toolish. Both are the most toolish from Rolex. You could get rid of one.
And no. By the way, I bought the second one. I bought the Explorer because I loved the Sub. I just wished it was smaller.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Explorer
So-
fits your wrist better. It looks better on you.
Yeah, it does.
It's just
But you can't wear it on a NATO strap. You have to have the Sub for the NATO strap.
why?
I've tried the Explorer on a NATO strap. It looks stupid.
Oh, okay.
Everyone who wears an Explorer on NATO strap, it does not work for me.
Okay.
It has to be a dive watch on a NATO or something similar with a bezel. It has to have an external bezel, I should say, because the Daytonas look good. The Speedy looks good on NATO as well. But
Yeah. And
the Sub is the original.
okay. And
Look,
then
I think you said it before, Martin, in one of the podcasts. You said that you always buy watches because you have to think whether that watch can be a one-watch collection. And I agree with
Yes.
you on all these watches, with the exception of the Grand Seikos.
I
Just let
think I
them
could
go.
wear the Grand Seikos by themselves, especially the small one. I think I could wear that as a one watch collection and just change straps, and I would be perfectly happy. And it would be a 10, now I don't know, the value of this is probably like 10, 15K. And it would be fine. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It would do everything that I would want it to do.
So let's do it the other way. What I like is I do like personally, of course, I wouldn't necessarily like the 36 millimeter versions, but I do like a nice Datejust. That's good. I do like the Reverso, though it's not for me personally. I've tried it many times. I always like them when I see them, but I don't like them on my wrist. I do like the Cartier. I think that's a wonderful design. It's a very timeless, very nice one.
Pause for a second. Where the hell are your Cartiers, guys? I feel like both of you should have a Cartier.
I'm so close always either getting
me too.
a tank or a medium size like Santos, but I never pull the trigger.
You need a tank. So my new fix is the Tank American. They're so
That's
awesome.
lovely
Like, just
watches.
the
But I prefer the Cartier watches that are, again, I don't know, but that's probably just my taste. It's off. I like the Calibre de Cartier. I think that's a beautiful watch. They have a Calibre de Cartier
what?
diver. Their first in-house
Diver.
Calibre watch for men, the Calibre
Okay.
de Cartier. I like it a lot, and I think they have also a diver version of that, which is
Hold
also
on, I'm
pretty
looking.
cool.
I'm googling. Yeah, I'm googling. Yes, that is weird.
So
is
am I. So
weird.
that's why I like it so much. And it really, it's also in a white dial.
The least Cartier of any Cartier.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
god. It
Here's
looks
the
like
diver.
an
Here's the
IWC
diver.
actually.
It does.
Yeah.
Look at the diver. with the
It's
diver.
really cool. And it's their first in-house, so it has historic significance because it has the first in-house caliber in it. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's, but I also like the Santos. I think the Santos generally is also the watch I would probably go for because it's just a lovely design.
So I go swimming in this, by the way. I wear this to the pool, to the beach, and I think the 100-meter water resistance really is perfect for this watch.
So I think all of these nices are nice and inoffensive, right? But they're also, I feel,
Yes.
lack a tiny
Too
bit
safe.
of character. Yeah, they're just a bit too. There's not.
I have plenty of character myself, therefore I need a watch to have less character because I would have
Balance you
character
out.
overload.
Okay, I mean you
exactly.
do
I
have
think.
some eclectic strap choices, right? The Speedmaster and the Grand Seiko that you put on this Forstner straps that are like Gru from Despicable Me, right? Big body and tiny feet.
Tiny legs, yeah.
That's a bit on the other side, which
It is. But it's historical.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. The Speedies were on these. And by the way, the ones the Speedy were on, this is 16 mm. The Speedies were originally on 15 mm. So even 1 millimeter narrower.
It's weird to me. It just looks weird. Anyhow, but it's at least some
consistent.
Some spice in that, I think.
But what I agree with you here's what I'm going to agree with you on everyone. One, I've tried to sell this date just. The date window thing, as I said, bothers me. I don't like it, but I love the watch. And I'm like, I'm making an exception for this. The GMT by default has to have a date, just like the Speedmaster has to have some dials, right?
Don't tell that to Patek. They do a lot of GMTs without a date.
No, they're, what's it called? World timers, not GMTs.
Dual times. I think they have a dual time without a date. Yeah.
Yeah. Dual time is still slightly different than, I guess. Okay, fine. So I don't mind it on that. So if that was my only watch with a date function, I'd be okay with it. Or if the date just was my only watch, I could have one exception to the rule kind of deal. If I were to sell anything from here, I've tried to sell the date just. I had to get it back. I sold it to a friend. I woke up in a cold sweat. I told him, no, let's go back. And I took it back from him. So I was lucky on that front because I maybe could have sold it to Timepiece or something and not gotten it back. But I think if anything goes from this collection, it would be one of the Grand Seikos. It would be one of the Grand Seikos. My issue is I cannot choose which one.
Oh.
No, it would never be both. It would be
Don't
one.
choose, just sell them both.
Yes.
I wouldn't because I would have to find something that I want. And as I told you, and I would love an IWC if it fit my criteria. And the big one is still too big. If they made like a 41, it would still be big on my wrist. Therefore, I could call it a big pilot without a date, of course. I loved the Spitfire, the one that they did with Hodinkee, because once again, they 39mm got rid of the date window.
I need to tell you something about IWC actually that's very topical. Have you seen Brad Pitt wearing the old engineer with the green dial for his new film?
Yes, we have seen that.
Yes.
So I was just asking IWC the other day, you guys should really re-release this again because it looks absolutely awesome. And they said, well, I'm sure we're working on something for the film.
Right. Yeah, they confirmed that this is a special watch for Brad Pitt for that movie. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the engineer, it's a beautiful watch and I really, really like it. So I think there will be more to come. I was a bit surprised that
versions,
they have just these three ones so far and haven't added yet new versions, because I feel when they use like a simpler dial, they could offer it for a lower price, for example, and then get all of these people who complained about the price, which I was one of them, take the wind out of their sails and saying like, here it is, right? Or do more deliberate versions, right? With different dials. I think dials are the one thing where Grand Seiko has really something special. They do amazing dials, and they have the most elaborate versions of dials. And I think that's one of the things that I appreciate, especially with the IWC. I think they can do so much more in this line, the engineer line, and I think they will, I guess.
They could. I think IWC, like Tudor, I always say this with Tudor. Tudor will give you the exact watch that you want and then screw up one tiny detail just to piss you off.
Maybe.
And I think IWC does the same thing too. They'll be like, here is a nearly perfect watch. I'll add a date window for you because I know you don't like them. Or something similar, right? They will always do just one thing just to, not quite perfect.
Yes.
And that's my issues with those two.
Like
Is
Rolex
I wish they would just...
the Cyclops, yeah.
I like the Cyclops, and that, the Cyclops is so iconic that even I, as a date window hater, have to have one in the collection.
So I think it's so
I agree.
nice to have the Cyclops when you start to get a
my
bit
eyesight
older.
sucks.
I'm so excited to have one. I mean, now my only Rolex doesn't have it anymore. So a friend of mine told me one thing when he said like, okay, now that you have a Daytona, you don't need any other Rolex anymore. And I was like, not so sure, because I'm also want an Explorer 1 maybe, or maybe eventually
the 40mm Explorer 1.
Yeah. But
or that 39.
The point he was making is
selling for
because you have a Daytona, you could have had any other Rolex in your collection, but you have the Daytona now. So there's a thinking about this. Do I need a lower version of a watch? And for me, it's just like I don't care really of the status or the value of the watch. If I like it, that's why I wear my PRX. I love it. It's a nice watch, right? And I like the ice blue. But I think what we have all in these individual collections, as a summary, we all have our personality in that collection. It might be weird and all over the place in some places, right?
Or vanilla.
Or my OCD of how vanilla everything is. Yeah,
right?
Okay,
or
like
very extravagant. Not extravagant. I mean, very, very nice, sophisticated. So I think we all have our unique personality in our watch collections. Yeah, and I think that's the one thing. And we would all have.
But here's the problem: is I have a G-Shock, Ralph has a G-Shock, Mahmoud has nothing cheap. Do you have anything that's just a?
I used to have an Apple Watch. I don't like G-Shocks at all. I know it's blasphemous, but I just don't like them.
No, it is. It could be a Tissot PRX. It could be anything. But I think that you're missing something that you can. What are you going to wear to Rio de Janeiro when you have to fly for a business trip?
Well, I wouldn't take my camera with me, that's for sure.
Oh, so what watch are you going to wear?
I would get a Nomos.
So you're not going to get a watch until you need that watch, a cheap watch, right?
Yes.
That's okay. All right, fine.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Please do.
See, I think some of the watches that I wear, for example, I could take a Laureato with me anywhere.
And nobody will know what it is.
Nobody will know, right?
They might think it's an AP, with all these ceramic APs coming up.
That's true.
Yeah.
And it does look a bit flashy because of the high polish of the case and the different surface finishes. It actually does look sometimes a bit flashy, not in the picture here, but it can look a bit flashier. But yeah, these are the things where I have enough G-Shocks to take with me, so that's okay. But even that, I think I heard in Rio de Janeiro is already too dangerous. Some people say just wear nothing. Don't take a phone call because then your phone is gone.
They'll take your phone.
Yeah. So,
yep.
Be careful.
All right. Anyway,
but yeah, I thought we have interesting collections.
Time.
I think we are all different, and that's good because that's why there are so many different watches, so that everybody can find the one watch they really like and they really want to have. Or multiple.
And once again, don't care what other people say about your collection or your watches,
Exactly.
right?
Not at
As
all.
we've demonstrated here, there's things we don't like about each other's collections and things we don't like about each other's watches.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. If it makes you happy, then you're a happy camper, and it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Agreed.
As Donald Trump would say, we all have the perfect watch collection, and all of our watches are amazing, and everything's great.
But mine is better.
But mine is
obviously,
better.
I have the best watch.
Each one of us has the best watch and the best collection.
Yeah.
There we go. So on that bombshell, it's time for us to end. Thank you again, Mahmoud, for joining us and roasting
My
us.
pleasure.
Yes. Thank you for
And,
your
My
insights.
pleasure. Thank you for roasting
We
me.
look forward to, yeah, of course. Of course. It was your idea. So we look forward to having you on again. And we'll see you all next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.